And when we talk about life, the conversation is never about yourself. If I wanted to hear about the devil or God, I'd talk to them by myself. I actually want to elaborate this. Hi, hey, hello there. I go by Bilia Bula and I'm a poet. So, what I meant by the stanza is that people go through certain experiences, and instead of focusing on how they got through everything they've gone through, they look externally. They're like, oh, if it weren't for God, blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, I would have never had to have gone through all these bad things if the devil wasn't attacking or doing bad things. And it takes away from having a human experience and focusing on how you as a human being went through that experience. I think it's easier to look for outward reasons as to why you're in certain circumstances in your life. However, life is quite random. Sometimes there's really no reason as to why things happen the way that they do. Sometimes you lost money, and that doesn't mean Satan is there laughing at you and plotting and scheming. And someone who picks up that money doesn't mean God had a hand in it. So sometimes I think, not to take away from people's beliefs, but just to bring us back to reality, back to earth, back to just being a human being. Sometimes there isn't a spiritual reason. My second stanza reads, what's your sense of self when you're not blaming witches or praising angels? Yes, you're grateful for your life, but are you grateful for yourself? Blaming witches makes me think of the Salem witch trials, where it was just another situation of blaming women. Um, Grateful for yourself. I feel like it's easy to say thank you, and it's common to thank other people, but not have that type of relationship with yourself. Like, you get your degree and you're like, oh my god, I'm so thankful for my parents for paying for school, and just I'm thankful for the professors, and I'm thankful for this and that and that. But sometimes it's good to just sit with yourself and just be grateful and be proud, and just, especially, I feel like if you can practice big acts of gratitude, then when you're going through it, like with depression or you're just sad, maybe you could like thank yourself for getting out of bed. And sometimes the things that you find easier to do, like let's say eat 3 times a day when you're like mentally stable, you can thank yourself for just eating once a day when you're not doing so good. I don't know if this is something I'm saying to myself right now, or whether it's something I'm saying to the audience. Here's my third stanza. I see you get on your knees, but do you know how to worship yourself? Who needs it more? The creator whose love's alive, or the creation that's still evolving? I think the last two lines make me think about poetry. And maybe many, many, many years from now, I will have a book, right? And I feel like I would want people to be devoted to, is it to, devoted to my book? Yeah, I think that's correct. more than they could be to me, because I created that. Don't need I have a love for poetry to a point where I created the book, right? I really don't need people to devote their all to me, but more so to my creation, because there's this thing of just different ways to interpret something. So, in that lens, my creation will forever be evolving. Here on YouTube, maybe someone hears when I try to sing some of my things and they're like, hey, I could make this better. I'm actually a singer. I know how to use my voice properly and all the techniques. And they evolve it because they're devoting themselves to it instead of towards me, instead of being like, oh yeah, you just need to be better or whatnot. My creations could be better. And worship yourself. I've said this in my first video that I'm not into like the whole makeup thing, but I feel like it seems shallow though, the whole beauty industry. However, isn't it a way of self worship? Just the patience it requires, just the dedication. I could see it as a way of self worship, just yeah. Let me read my fifth stanza. Because even if you prayed to your own mother, sometimes the answer is just no, or silence, maybe misunderstandings. But you've said please and thank you. But do you know how to please and thank yourself? Okay, to answer this, wait, I read both stanzas. Well, okay. I thought I was just gonna read the fifth one, but the sixth one is just so small. I just included it unconsciously. Um, a way I like to please myself, not sexually, is dancing. I like dancing in front of like the TV when it's switched off so I can see myself, or in front of a mirror. And yes, I feel like I would love to know how you feel like you please and thank yourself on a not on a daily but on occasion, maybe when you get the time to, when life isn't taking up all of your energy. And now you know exactly what to comment after liking this video and possibly sharing it to someone who you think might like it. Oh, and the third and fourth line of this fifth stanza. That sounds so good. Are a good reminder that only you know exactly what you want. Hence why it's so important to have a good relationship with yourself.